Every year, the Economist Intelligence Unit releases its ranking of the most livable cities in the world, in which they attempt to quantify what exactly makes living in a city better or worse. It generally breaks down into 5 categories: stability, healthcare, culture and environment, education, and infrastructure. So, what are the world's most livable cities? Well, in fact, the top 7 cities are actually comprised within just 3 countries, with 6 countries total in the top 10. Although it's not true everywhere, countries with effective policies tend to see positive effects countrywide. However, many major cities around the world can actually be victims of their own success. Cities such as New York City or London are world-renowned, but also have higher crime rates, overpopulation leading to infrastructure failure, and often much higher costs of living. The cities in this list are able to avoid some of those pitfalls. The top-ranked city in the world is Melbourne, Australia, a title it's held for 6 years in a row. 2 of the country's other metropolises, Adelaide and Perth, rank 5th and 7th in the list as well. In terms of stability, which concerns threats of terrorism, violent crime, and military conflict, Australia has little to fear for radical change. All 3 cities enjoy the same healthcare system, which is a combination of government and private insurance and results in affordable, accessible, and high-quality care. The country's universal health care even helps pay for treatments outside of hospitals. With a temperate climate, especially in Perth, as well as free public education and long-term investment in infrastructure, it's not surprising that Australia makes the list 3 times. But perhaps what's even less surprising is that the next most commonly appearing country on the list is Canada, with Vancouver, Toronto, and Calgary taking spots 3, 4, and 5. Calgary is tied with Adelaide. Like Australia, Canada has universal healthcare and free education, both of which are relatively well managed, funded, and take into account the needs of low-income citizens. Canada also has little to fear geopolitically, as it's mostly uninvolved in international conflicts and has the United States as a direct neighbor and protector. Sandwiched on the list in between Australia and Canada is the city of Vienna in Austria, ranking 2nd worldwide. In fact, other scales of livability, like the Mercer Quality of Living Survey, have ranked Vienna first. The city is Austria's capital and its economic, political, and cultural center. In 2013, it was named by the UN as the most prosperous city, with a particular focus on both a thriving economy and urban planning. With a high density of culture, both historic and newly diverse, Vienna is known as a city for music, architecture, and unique cafes. The last 3 cities to round out the top 10 are Auckland, New Zealand, Helsinki, Finland, and Hamburg, Germany. All 3 have subsidized or free healthcare and education, 2 categories which tend to improve cities and countries around the world. All 3 cities are also economically thriving, which allows them to focus government services on their populace, improve things like infrastructure, and provide high rates of employment. Building a livable city doesn't seem especially complicated. You need clean air and water, to live without fear for your life and liberty, the ability to be cured when you're sick, and a right to be educated. But for many cities around the world, this doesn't mean it's easy to achieve.